For context, I, 17-year-old female, and my mom, 40-year-old female, have always had a close relationship. She has always been my role model, and obviously I care deeply for her and don't like seeing her get hurt. Her and my dad got a divorce 10 years ago, and her fiancé, we'll call him Ryan, 42-year-old male, proposed to her a few months ago. I strongly dislike him. He is a narcissist who only cares about himself, getting a pump at the gym, and having fun. I honestly have never met anyone more entitled. What kind of 40-year-old man wears skinny jeans? He obviously was not disciplined as a child and has told more than one story about how, as a kid and teen, he would steal or do something morally wrong or even illegal, and the cops would arrive at his house, but his parents would lie to them to get him off the hook, and he wouldn't even get so much as a talking to afterward. Anyways, Ryan is a despicable person and treats my mom horribly. I am quite certain the only reason he wants to marry my mom is so that she can take care of his son. He knows that I do not like him, and neither do my siblings. No one likes him. He's a freaking tool. I have seen both him and his son screaming in my mom's face. This was 2 weeks after she had undergone major surgery and she was still in recovery, but he wanted a fun weekend on the boat. God forbid he cares about anyone's comfort and well-being other than his own. Anyways, I went to visit my dad for a few weeks, and when I came back, I went with my mom to run a few errands. At the pharmacy, she suddenly turned to me and told me, "Don't freak out, okay?" And then she got a pregnancy test. It is safe to say I freaked out internally. Obviously, I'm the oldest child, a seasoned pro, if you will. Even the thought of forever being tied to him is nightmarish. I told my mom then and there that if she is pregnant and chooses to have the baby, then she can consider it a replacement for me because I will no longer be in her life. I had planned on doing that if she started to plan the wedding with Ryan. I'm still hoping she will see sense on her own, or at least recognize that he is emotionally unstable and hurtful towards her. I told her she would have to make a choice, the baby and her fiancé, or me. She was speechless. It was the first time I have ever seen her like that. Then she told me that she could understand my hatred for Ryan, but not my hatred for a child that hasn't even been born yet, and how she was disappointed in me that I would give her such an ultimatum. Later on, she told Ryan about it, and now he hates me more than before too. That's fine, buddy. The feeling's mutual. But with all of the remarks that they have made around the house, I'm considering not even giving them a choice and leaving on my own. I really don't think I am the jerk, but if you disagree, please explain why, because no matter how I look at it, I don't see a problem in my actions. Update. Let me just say it now. I know I'm going to get trashed for being sexist or whatever, but I am against guys wearing skinny jeans. I personally love wearing skinny jeans. So does my mom. I think he rocks them, but I feel like skinny jeans on guys went out of style for a reason. Also, I was emotional when I wrote this, so I may have let that influence my wording. Also, to clarify a few things, Ryan is awful. I don't hate him for wearing skinny jeans and going to the gym. I hate him because he doesn't care about anyone but himself and expects the whole world to bow down to him. Him and my mom had a year where they broke up. In that year, he did hard drugs and slept with anyone, married school moms, some of my mom's friends, prostitutes, etc. While I think he has stopped now, he was like that before they broke up as well. Also, I don't hate him for going to the gym. I hate him for caring more about his physique than anything else, his child included. And I hate him for being erratic and temperamental because of steroids and his roid rage. I should not have to deal with that, neither should my mom. He constantly belittles my mom and complains about everything. Anything my mom does is wrong. He also expects her to stay at home and take care of his son while he does whatever it is he does, but refuses to support her financially. I'm not trying to make this a money problem. I'm just laying out the facts. If you want a stay-at-home wife and mother, then you need to support her. He also doesn't let her meet her friends, who she has known far longer than she has known him, and he doesn't let her dress how she wants. He has also told her that she doesn't deserve to take a break or go on a weekend away because she hasn't been a mother for months since she moved in with him. First of all, hi, I exist. She has been taking care of me. Second of all, she has been doing all of your son's stuff with him. School runs, therapies, play dates, baking for school fundraisers, taking him to birthday parties, bringing our snakes to show his class for show and tell, etc. And for what? For both him and his son to treat her like a slave and expect this from her? Also, she now has to work as well because he won't pay for her? I'm not losing it, right? That's wrong, right? Also, anything I do is wrong. He is constantly looking out for when I do one thing wrong, and then he tells my mom about it, and it ends in a 2-hour-long lecture because I didn't rinse a plate right. And his son hates my brother, and vice versa. So my brother is also constantly getting in trouble and screamed at by him for the smallest things, like having boundaries. That does not fly with me. You cannot treat my siblings like that. They are the reason I live, and I can't understand how he thinks that's fine. So what if my brother doesn't want to share a toy? Every other toy he has shared with your son has been broken beyond repair, and your son never gets scolded. And my sister? She is the sweetest, kindest human being to ever grace this earth, and he's horrible to her too. She beat him in go-karting by 2 full seconds, and he still won't race against her and has been gaslighting her, saying no, it was 0.2 seconds and making up excuses or whatever. My sister was so proud of that. She's got terrible self-esteem, and he just keeps attacking her like that. I overreacted when I gave my mom an ultimatum because I was scared. She found out that she was mostly infertile a few months ago, and that if she did conceive a child, they recommended she abort it because it would likely be a case of the baby's life or hers. I obviously don't want to lose her. Also, in the months before she found that out, her and Ryan had been discussing children, and she would always say she didn't want because she already had 3 beautiful children, and she has been a mom since she was 23. She didn't have her 20s like other people did. She doesn't want to add another 18 years until the last one is out of the house. She wants to live her life and do things she wants and not center her whole world around us. And I get it. And I want that for her too. But she can't do that if she is dead. If it really goes downhill, I will go live with my dad and my siblings, 14-year-old female and 9-year-old male. They chose to live with my dad because they do not want to be around Ryan. I know I was wrong to give the ultimatum, but I was scared shitless. My mom is so painfully selfless. I was worried she would sacrifice herself for Ryan and her to have a child. She has since taken tests, and they all came back negative, thank God. But I think I have given her a lot to think about. I really, truly hope that she will make the right decision, because especially now that there is no baby tying them together, she is mostly free to do what she really wants. Also, my dad is an amazing father, just not a great husband. Please do not speculate or talk ill of him if you don't know anything. I'm not blinded by love. When my parents first got divorced, I hated him and blamed him. But I have grown up a bit, and I see that he has only ever done his best for my siblings and me. Mini update, I spoke to my mom again, and she said that she didn't want to have a child with him. Her exact response was a bit more graphic, but I don't want to add a trigger warning. Also, in case anyone misunderstood, she is not pregnant. And I also realized I don't have a problem with skinny jeans. I have a problem with him and have come to associate them with him. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Your mom said she can understand why you said that about Ryan. She literally admitted she understands why you think he is enough of a reason to leave her life, but then she told him what you said anyway. Your mom is not smart. Your mom is not prioritizing the safety of herself or her children, and you need to get out of that home. NTA. Comment 2. I honestly have never met anyone more entitled. What kind of 40-year-old man wears skinny jeans? This is the part that made me go troll. Now, for the update. It's been a month since my last post, and a lot has happened. I've been staying with my dad full-time now, and my siblings are here too. It's been a relief to get away from the constant tension at my mom's place. My dad's house is like a sanctuary compared to that. My mom and I had a long talk after I moved out. It was tough, but necessary. She admitted that she's been unhappy for a while, but felt trapped because of her relationship with Ryan. She said she felt like she was walking on eggshells around him, always trying to avoid his next outburst. Hearing her say that broke my heart. No one should have to live like that. After our conversation, something changed in her. It was like she finally saw the situation for what it was. She started standing up for herself more, setting boundaries with Ryan. She even went out with her friends for the first time in months. I could hear the happiness in her voice when she told me about her night out. It was like a piece of the old her was coming back. Ryan didn't take these changes well. He tried his usual tactics, but my mom wasn't having any of it. She told him that she needed space to think about their relationship and what she wanted for her future. That's when things started to shift. My mom spent more time with us kids, and we had some great family days out, just like old times. It was nice to see her laughing and enjoying herself without worrying about what Ryan would say or do. She even started talking about plans for the future, things she wanted to do that she'd put on hold for too long. Then, about 2 weeks ago, she dropped the bombshell. She broke off the engagement with Ryan. She said it wasn't an easy decision, but it was the right one for her and for us. She realized that she deserved better, that we all did. She's been staying with a friend while she figures out her next steps, but she's already looking for a new place for just her and us kids. Ryan tried to win her back, of course. He promised he'd change, that things would be different. But my mom stood her ground. She told him that she needed to focus on her own happiness and the well-being of her children. It was the first time I'd seen her so determined and sure of herself. It made me proud to be her daughter. As for me, I've been doing a lot of thinking too. I realized that I let my anger towards Ryan cloud my judgment. I shouldn't have given my mom an ultimatum. It wasn't fair to her or to me. I apologized to her, and we've been working on rebuilding our relationship. It's not perfect, but it's getting there. My siblings are doing better too. My brother's grades have improved now that he's not constantly stressed out, and my sister's self-esteem has been on the rise. She even beat her go-karting record again, and this time, there was no one there to downplay her achievement. As for Ryan's son, I hope he gets the help he needs. It's not his fault his dad is the way he is. I wish him the best, even if I don't want to be around him. So, that's where we are now. It's been a tough month, but it feels like we're finally moving in the right direction. My mom is finding her independence again, and we're all healing from the chaos that was Ryan. It's going to take time, but I have hope for the future, and that's a pretty good place to be. Now, for the comments. Comment 1. You're not the conductor on the Hot Mess Express. You're just a passenger with a front row seat to the drama. It's like you've been served a soap opera special, but without the popcorn. It's tough when the villain is closer than a soap character, but you did what you had to do to protect your sanity. Sometimes you gotta be your own superhero, cape and all, to save the day, or at least your mental health. Comment 2. Did you ever chat with your mom about how Ryan's skinny jeans were the least of your worries? It's like mistaking a mosquito for a vampire in a room full of bloodsuckers. But seriously, it's great you're mending fences with your mom. Maybe consider family therapy. It could help unpack the Ryan-sized luggage you've all been carrying. Now, for the next story. Today, I went to dinner with my family after work and went to the bar with a few of my buddies. My sibling, who lives out of state, is here for the holiday, and we were all at dinner talking about stuff when the subject of our childhood came up. It went from funny and lighthearted to me getting up and leaving really fast. The first thing that was admitted was that my siblings were actively trying to harm me. Remember those Nerf bows with the foam arrows? Well, my siblings would put screws in the tips of them and then shoot them at me. I never figured out why they hurt so much and would draw blood. Every time I tried to unwrap all the tape, I would just get it snatched from my hands and beaten up by my siblings. And the second thing was what really upset me and made me leave the restaurant. When I was younger, around 9, and my one biological sibling was around 6, 7, somebody cut the bands on my stepfather's bow target, and they immediately blamed me and my sibling. They used everything they possibly could to accuse us of it, like real detective-level inspection of the target. The bands are the same plastic banding they use on units of lumber, and somebody cut them with a set of sheet metal snips. My parents tried using the fact that the wrong type of snips were used and the fact that whoever did it tried multiple times to cut it. So, they concluded that I must have grabbed the snips from the top drawer of the toolbox and gave them to my weaker sibling, who tried multiple times to cut the bands on the target. After that, they made me and my sibling reach down and grab our ankles while they beat us with wooden spoons in front of our step-siblings. My mom hit me so hard with one it snapped in half when it hit me. I had bruises on my backside for days and was told I was a liar and a terrible child. They said I should only get bread and water and be locked in my room unless I'm at school or working at home with supervision. Tonight, they all admitted that the oldest step-sibling did it the whole time. There were no apologies, just laughter at the expense of the most vulnerable moment in my life. There was even more laughter when the fact that the spoon was broken on my backside was brought up. After I left, I texted my mother and told her that I am in complete shock that they just openly admitted that. It's not funny at all because they abused me worse than my drug-addicted father ever did that night. Now, she's mad at me because I don't want any part of family Thanksgiving. I was originally going to help cook it because I just moved home for a bit and wanted to try rebuilding my family relationship. But this just makes me want to pack all my things and leave again. I'd rather live in my vehicle than here at the moment. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot. So all your mother is concerned about is the fact that you won't be there to help cook, and the part where you told her that you were deliberately set up to get a beating is being ignored is mind-boggling. I would totally go no contact. Your family doesn't deserve you. Comment 2. Abusers will always tell you that you can't choose your family. That's nonsense. You can 100% choose your family, and you can also choose which of them are no longer part of your family. Now, for the update, thanks everyone for the support. Here's the update no one asked for. After I had stormed out of the restaurant, I drove around for a while to clear my head. I couldn't shake the feeling of betrayal and hurt. It was like all those years of trying to forget just came crashing back in a single moment. I ended up at my buddy's place, where I spent the night on his couch. I didn't sleep much, just lay there staring at the ceiling, replaying the dinner over and over again in my mind. The next morning, I woke up to a bunch of missed calls and texts from my mom and siblings. They were all trying to apologize, saying they didn't realize how much their words and actions had hurt me. I didn't respond. I wasn't ready to hear their excuses or accept their apologies. Instead, I called in sick to work and spent the day trying to figure out what to do next. I decided to reach out to a therapist I had seen a few years back. I needed to talk to someone professional about everything that had happened. The therapist was able to fit me in the next day, and that session was the first step towards feeling like I could breathe again. She helped me understand that it was okay to feel angry and upset, and that my feelings were valid. Over the next few days, I avoided going home and stayed with various friends. I needed space from my family to process everything. My friends were incredibly supportive, offering me a place to stay, food, and a listening ear. It was comforting to know I had people who cared about me and my well-being. Eventually, I knew I had to face my family. I couldn't avoid them forever, especially with Thanksgiving around the corner. I went back home, but I set some ground rules. I told my mom and siblings that I needed an honest conversation about what happened, and that I wasn't going to just sweep it under the rug. To my surprise, they agreed. We sat down together, and for the first time, I felt like they were actually listening to me. I told them how their actions had affected me, how it wasn't just a funny story to me, and how their laughter had reopened old wounds. I didn't hold back. I let all my emotions out. My family was quiet for a long time after I finished speaking. Then, one by one, they started to apologize. Not just for the dinner, but for everything that had happened in the past. My oldest step-sibling, the one who had actually cut the bands on the bow target, broke down in tears and admitted that they were just trying to get attention and never meant for me to get hurt. It was a lot to take in, and part of me was skeptical. But as we talked more, I could see the regret in their eyes. They offered to make it up to me, to try and heal our relationship. It wasn't going to be easy, but I could tell they were sincere. We spent the next few days talking and working through our issues. It was tough, but it felt like we were finally making progress. And when Thanksgiving came, we all cooked together. It was the first time in a long time that I felt like I was part of a family, not just an outsider. The dinner was surprisingly pleasant. We all shared what we were thankful for, and when it was my turn, I said I was thankful for second chances. After dinner, we played board games and watched movies. It was the most normal and happy I had felt with my family in years. As the night came to an end, my mom pulled me aside. She hugged me tight and whispered an apology in my ear. She said she was sorry for not protecting me when I was a child and that she would spend the rest of her life trying to make it right. I didn't know if everything could be forgiven, but I knew that we were on the path to healing. For the first time in a long time, I had hope that things could be different. I went to bed that night feeling lighter than I had in years. The next day, I woke up to the smell of coffee and pancakes. My family was in the kitchen, laughing and talking. It wasn't perfect, and I knew we had a long way to go, but it was a start. And for now, that was enough. Now, for the comments. Comment 1. Hey, I'm really sorry you went through that. It's tough when family doesn't see the hurt they've caused. Have you considered setting boundaries with them? It might help to communicate your feelings clearly and establish what you're comfortable with. Also, props to you for seeking therapy. That's a brave step forward. Comment 2. That sounds like a rough situation. Can I ask if your family has a history of brushing things under the rug? It's great that they're showing remorse now, but it's important they understand the impact of their actions. Maybe consider family therapy. It could help everyone communicate better and heal together. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.